Alright, I've talked about the comic book movies of 2021 that I saw. Now it's time to talk about the anime movies of 2021 that I saw. I would like to point out that for this list I will also be counting live action animation hybrids. Also, if I'm brief here, it's because I already talked about a good deal of these movies and wanted to talk about some other films. Lastly, this is just my opinion, but you already figured that out. Number 30. Night of the Animated Dead. This was just a shot-for-shot remake of the 1968 classic Night of the Living Dead, but with ugly animation and weak voice acting. Moving on! Number 29. Tom and Jerry. I'll admit, I liked the nods to the classic cartoons and thought the animation was passable. Everything else, not so much. Number 28. America the Motion Picture. While the animation and voice acting was decent, everything else, not so much. This movie was painfully unfunny and very boring. Number 27. Injustice. A film that, while promising in concept and had interesting themes, was wasted with a weak script and a rushed pace. Number 26. The Loud House Movie. While it had the show's charm and some genuinely funny jokes, this movie was just too cliched and predictable for my taste. Number 25. Paw Patrol the Movie. I considered skipping this movie as I'm not familiar with the show at all, but after hearing the good word of mouth from my friends, I thought I'd give it a chance. My thoughts? I don't remember it that much. I will say the animation and voice acting was passable, though I wouldn't cast Kim Kardashian in a kid's movie. Of course, that's just me. Number 24. Troll Hunters, Rise of the Titans. I'll say the visuals were nice, and it was cool to see the cast one last time, but this film ended the series on an unsatisfying note that undid everything. Number 23. Space Jam: A New Legacy. Yes, this film is just an ad for HBO Max, but there was a little enjoyment. Like, it was nice to see 2D animation in a world where 3D animation dominates the market. Plus, Don Cheadle stole the show, and there were some genuinely funny jokes. Number 22. Flea. Personally, I thought this film was just okay. Sure, it was depressing and slow, but it was well intentioned and the animation was nice to look at. Number 21. Justice Society World War II. This movie, while flawed and the pacing with some areas, was a ton of fun. You can't go wrong with superheroes fighting Nazis. Number 20. Raya and the Last Dragon. Although I really liked this film on my first viewing, upon a rewatch, I found myself enjoying it less. But I still liked the film. The world building was interesting, and the characters were complex. My only issue was some of the humor, and the film could have actually benefited with a longer runtime to establish its world as a character. Number 19. Arlo the Alligator Boy. This film was hard to hate on because it was just so wholesome and fun. The animation was gorgeous, the song numbers were alright, and boy did it tug at the heartstrings. Number 18. New Gods Ne Zha Reborn. This film was an interesting merge of steampunk and Chinese mythology. Sure, the characters were underdeveloped, but they were by no means terrible. The action and animation was well done, and you can't go wrong with that soundtrack. Number 17. Ron's Gone Wrong. This film was much more than The Iron Giant in the modern age. The film had thoughtful commentary and was able to keep things fresh. Sure, it had some pacing issues, and some jokes went on for too long, but it was well intentioned. Number 16. ScoobyDoo the Sword and the Scoob. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. The film had a refreshing take on the Scooby-Doo formula and the jokes were top-notch. Plus, the twist was really brilliant. Not to mention, the voice acting was good. You can't go wrong with Nick Frost as Merlin. Number 15. Batman: Soul of the Dragon. Sure, the supporting cast overshadowed Batman, and it was more of a martial arts movie instead of a Batman movie, but it was a ton of fun. Not to mention, it sounded like the voice actors were having a blast too. Number 14. Sing 2. This film was a massive improvement over the first Sing. The film had a more interesting premise, and there was more at stake. Not to mention, I really appreciate how the film was not afraid to get dark and deal with themes such as grief. I'd be actually down for a Sing 3. Number 13. Sailor Moon Eternal, the movie. This was a good way to end the Moon Crystal series. I like that each Guardian got a chance to shine, and the animation was just gorgeous. Number 12. My Hero Academia, World Heroes Mission. I'm not the most familiar with the series, but I had a really good time with this movie. The action was amazing and the characters were entertaining. And of course, the animation was easy on the eyes. Number 11. Luca. Pixar is a studio that hardly disappoints, and I like this new direction that they are going in. Instead of a big epic adventure, it was a fun coming-of-age film. Number 10. Vivo. I really enjoyed Vivo. The musical numbers were catchy, and the visuals were colorful. But this film's greatest strength was how poignant it was. The opening reminded me of Pixar's Up. This film is just impossible to hate and really brings out the both of Best Sony and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Number 9. Green Snake. While this film didn't have the same magic as the previous film, White Snake, it was a solid follow-up. The animation was amazing, and the film was an interesting fish-out-of-water time travel movie. And putting the spotlight on Zhao Kung instead of Zhao Bai was a nice change of pace. Number 18. Batman the Long Halloween duology. These films were adapted from the popular comic of the same name and really showed the power of straight-to-video animated films. The art style was nice, the voice acting was solid, and the story was engaging. Number 7. Wish Dragon. I had a really good time with this film. I could really relate to the lead Din, and I enjoyed his dynamic with Long Zhu. The voice acting was solid, and this film was really funny. It was much more than Aladdin in an Asian setting, which ironically enough, the original Aladdin may have been set in China. Number 6. Hilda and the Mountain King. I'm glad I binged the whole series in order to get caught up for this movie. And I have to say, Hilda has become one of my favorite modern animated series. As someone of Scandinavian descent, this series holds a special place in my heart. Anyway, The Mountain King was a great bridge between season 2 and 3. The animation was just awesome, and the message was fantastic. Number 5. Straight out of nowhere, ScoobyDoo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's about time these two had a crossover. Well, better late than never, I guess. This film managed to merge what made the two IPs special seamlessly in a fun adventure that was also very inspiring. And of course, it was nice to hear Tia White's voice as Muriel one last time. Rest in peace, Tia White, and thanks for everything. Number 4. Encanto. Like Raya, I decided to give this film a rewatch, and it was much better the second time around. The animation was impressive, the message was well done, and the characters were entertaining. And of course, the songs were just awesome. Most notably, the one that everyone is talking about. Number 3. Belle. Basically Beauty and the Beast in the social media age. This film was beautiful, the soundtrack was awesome, and the message was empowering. Number 2. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0. Thrice Upon a Time. This was a satisfying conclusion to one of the most popular and influential anime series of all time. The characters were more complex than ever, and the film wrapped up everything, leaving no stones unturned. Number 1. The Mitchells vs. the Machines. After Lord and Miller blew everyone away with Into the Spider-Verse, they followed up with this masterpiece. The film was hilarious, charming, and clever, and showed what Sony Animation was really capable of. So that's my list of the animated films I saw in 2021. What did you think? What's your ranking? Feel free to share them with me in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Whew! Doing these videos was exhausting. I'm definitely going to be taking a break. But I have other videos planned for this year. With Jurassic World Dominion coming out this June, I plan to make videos talking about the Jurassic Park franchise. Till then, see ya!